I paid one of the top experts in women's hormonal health to teach me everything she knows about inflammation. And what she taught me completely changed my viewpoint on inflammation forever. So instead of having you have to pay $30,000, I will just teach you what I learned so you could just know it yourself. So inflammation is absolutely rampant in women. And the biggest problem is that you just don't know what to look for to know if it's inflammation or if it's body fat. So I'm going to teach you exactly how you can identify if you have an inflammatory problem or if it's body fat you have to lose. Because if you are trying to lose weight, weight is mostly made up of water weight. And it is made up of inflammation and something called cellular fire. If you don't take care of this, you will not be able to lose weight even in a calorie deficit, because you can have just a small amount of food, which calorically could be like 300 calories, but the next day you can be up 2 pounds. 300 calories of any food does not equal 7,000 calories. So how does that happen? Why do these weight fluctuations happen? They happen mostly because of inflammation or cellular fire. So the very first thing you want to do when you are looking to see if it is inflammation or if it's body fat is you want to do the jiggle test. You are going to, I'm going to show you, I don't have a lot of belly fat, so I'm going to have to show you with a stand-in of a little cow here. This is what your belly will look like. You are going to go up off your heels, and you are going to go down rapidly, and then you're going to see what happens to your belly. If your belly jiggles like jello, and it's like, you know it's body fat, and then you want to just try to lose body fat. But if you go up off your heels and then you go down rapidly and the whole thing moves like one big unit, like you got a basketball in your gut, then that is a sign of inflammation. That is number one. Number two, you will notice that you get very big and bloated after eating. Bloating should not happen. It is not something that is normal. If you normally get bloated after your meals, that is a sign of inflammation. That means that your body is rejecting it. So there's a few different reasons for that. One, you don't have enough water before your meals. Two, you're having too much of one specific type of carbohydrate or dietary fiber. Or three, you're having an inflammatory response. Most of the time, it's just inflammation, and you can reduce it by having like mineral water or carbonated soda water or drinking water, tap water, right before your meals in order to help lower how fast you digest that food. But essentially what's happening is you are having a reaction so fast that it makes you big and bloated. So having bloating is another sign of inflammation, specifically right after eating. The third sign of inflammation is getting tired after your meals. You should not feel like taking a nap after each time you eat. That is also not normal. Like we are not snakes. we don't just eat something and then go, you know. That is a sign that either you don't have the right nutrition profile for your meal, as in you're going on a blood sugar yo-yo, and that is really what's causing it. But you also get tired because your body is having an inflammatory response or something called cellular fire, and what happens is you just feel like taking a nap. This is really common with women that have protein shakes. You'll get very big and bloated. You feel like taking a nap after having. It feels like there's a brick in your stomach. Like they're like, oh wow, this protein's so filling. It's filling because you're having an inflammatory response. You know, like you feel like your gut is just like a rock, and plus it doesn't smell that good either. You know, like you're getting bloated in the worst ways. So that is number three. Is you get tired. Number four is that if you were to track your weight every single day, you wake up in the morning. You weigh yourself after you use the bathroom, before you eat, wearing the same clothes or no clothes at all. You are going to look for a trend for your weight. If your weight is almost exactly the same for 3 days in a row, that is a telltale sign for inflammation. Why? Because what are the odds that you would drink the same amount of water, that you would breathe the same amount, that you'd have the exact same amount of water in your food, that you would drink the same amount of water during the day, that you would move the same amount? Like, it's zero. There's no chance that you'd have exactly the same amount going in and out of you. Your weight should fluctuate every day. If it's almost exactly the same, that means you're walking around like a big old water balloon, and you're just basically puffed up to the max. And why does that happen? Because of that cellular fire or that inflammation. If you're really curious on the cellular fire or the inflammation, I'll just give you a masterclass on it. It's totally free. You can watch it. I will put it on the screen right now if you are interested in getting that. You just have to put in your first name and click the link, and then it'll bring you to my website, and you can put in your name and email, and you can watch that masterclass. But if you have this inflammation, it makes it feel like this weight is just stuck on your body, like it's on your gut, and you just can't lose weight. But what you'll notice is the next sign of inflammation is not only that you get big and bloated or that you are gaining weight, it's like most of the weight that you're gaining is right in your midsection. Like if you're just gaining weight right in the middle here, that is a sign of something called cortisol belly. What's happening is you are chronically in a fight or flight stage, and chronically being in fight or flight prevents rest and digest. When you don't have rest and digest, proper rest and digest, because you're chronically in this elevated state, as in you're not metabolizing stress hormones like cortisol, you are going to actually slow down to your digestion, and you are going to get a mild form of sepsis. It's called leaky gut. It's very well studied. It is essentially when undigested poop particles will actually leak out into your bloodstream. And you don't want poop in your blood. I feel like I don't have to tell you that, but this tube that goes from our mouth to the other end is a completely separate system than the rest of our bodies. What this tube eats that goes from this end to that end is not what we need. It is a totally separate system. Its byproduct, what it gets rid of, are vitamins, minerals, and nutrients, macronutrients and micronutrients. What it eats is not what we eat. So what will happen is you want it to release vitamins, minerals, micronutrients, macronutrients into your bloodstream. That's how you're absorbing the nutrients from your food. But if you have this inflammatory condition caused by cortisol belly, what happens is your digestion slows down and it'll actually start to leak because you have an unhealthy gut microbiome. That will lead to permeability. They're called epithelial lining of your intestines, essentially like this wall of intestines or walls of cells inside of your intestines that is really tight together. It actually forms something called tight junctions. And the only thing that's going to get through here, these tiny little crevices here, are vitamins, minerals, nutrients. But if you have this chronic inflammatory condition called leaky gut, which is the number one cause of inflammation in women, you'll actually have permeability in the lining of your intestines. That means that these tight junctions are no longer tight anymore. They start to create spaces. And these bigger spaces allow undigested food particles to actually leak through. And when they leak through, they leak straight into your blood. Everywhere they go, they cause an inflammatory response, but it's primarily in your midsection. Women that have high amounts of cortisol, they primarily gain weight in their midsection. Why? Because of this leaky gut. They get inflammation all over, but it starts inside the gut. That's where the first sign of inflammation would be. That's also why you get big and bloated after your meals. That's why you want to do that cortisol belly test, the jiggle test there, is to see if you have that. So if you have that, then you have to take care of cellular fire. Once again, you can just watch the full masterclass if you're interested in that. I'm just teaching you the signs here for what you want to look for. The next thing you want to look for is that when you take your socks off, you're going to have, I don't have any indents, so I can't show you. You know, like you take off your socks and it's like completely indented. It's like you take off your sock and you can still see it looks like your sock was on like forever. That is a sign of poor circulation. And that sign of poor circulation could be because of an inflammatory response that you're having in your body. So basically, like the inflammation is pooling at the bottom of your legs, so it's not going back up. In order to solve that, you need to increase your step count because you will increase something called the muscle pump, and that is going to process inflammation faster in your body. You can get one of those little steppers. You can walk outside. There's a lot of different things you could do, but you really want to just identify to see if that is what's causing it. The next thing that you look for to see if you have inflammation is you just wake up injured. Like, you go to bed, you feel fine, you wake up and you're like, my shoulder really hurts. Like, what's going on? Or like, why is my neck bothering me? Like, or you wake up and your back hurts. Like, what's going on? You went to sleep. You weren't like running. You know, like why are you waking up injured? Is your body just said, hey, I have something to heal from. It's going to have something called referred pain. So since we don't have a lot of, there are neurons that are inside of, or nerve endings inside of our intestines. Since we don't have those, it will actually send out pain signals in other places just to let you know that there's a problem. Like, if we knew exactly where the problem was in our gut, we wouldn't just have like a general like stomach ache. We also wouldn't have general like back pain. What's happening is when you have these gut issues, since your gut doesn't have little nerves, like if you had nerves inside of your intestines the entire way, you would feel your food getting digested the entire time. This big long tube, you would feel it. Like you'd feel it just like how you feel with your fingertips. You know, obviously we don't feel that. So what does your body do if you have a problem there? It's going to send out something called referred pain, and it's going to send pain other places. It's going to say there's something wrong. Just here's pain. Typically shows up in back pain with people. They'll be like, I don't understand why my back hurts. I'm literally doing nothing with my back. Like, why am I waking up in more pain? Like, what is going on? It's just a sign of inflammation that can be caused by having an inflammatory response. It could be from food, could be from cortisol belly, or you just tweaked your back and you didn't even know. But most of the time when you have this referred pain is because of inside of your gut. It's just trying to send out pain to let you know that something is wrong. And the last thing that you want to do is if you notice that you do have inflammation or you have this body fat to lose, is you want to follow the right protocol. So a lot of times if it is bloating that you're having, you want to follow an anti-bloating protocol. If you have inflammation, you want to follow an anti-inflammatory protocol. Or if you feel like you just have it all over and you have something called cellular fire, which is like that most common cause of inflammation, you actually just want to take care of the cellular fire. By doing that, then you actually fix all of it. If you want to see a full masterclass on that, you just click the link, put in your first name, put in your email address, and it'll explain a lot more. But those are all the signs that you want to look for to see if you have inflammation or if you have body fat to lose. Hope this is helpful. Hope you have a freaking awesome rest of your day. Love you all. Thanks for watching.